Tell me how you first met Stevie Nicks.
When I was a junior in high school up in Northern California, she transferred into my high school as a senior. She did play guitar.
Imagine being in love with someone, creating beautiful music together, then having your heart broken so badly that you...
And she and I interacted slightly on a musical level at a couple of social events. And then she moved on and went to college.
You have to keep working with that person every single day. Now imagine doing that for decades, in front of millions of fans, while your personal pain becomes the soundtrack to their lives. This is the incredible and heartbreaking story of Lindsey Buckingham and Stevie Nicks. At 75 years old, Lindsey Buckingham has finally decided to tell his side of one of rock music's most famous love stories. After almost 50 years of making music, fighting, breaking up, getting back together, and fighting some more, he's opening up about what it was really like to love and lose Stevie Nicks while creating some of the most beautiful songs ever written. Their story begins way before Fleetwood Mac became a household name. Back in the early 1970s, Lindsey and Stevie were just two young people in love, trying to make it in the music business. They weren't famous yet. They were just a couple with big dreams and bigger hearts. They called themselves Buckingham Nicks, and they thought they were going to conquer the world together. In 1973, they released their first album as a duo. Stevie had this amazing voice that could make you feel like you were floating on a cloud, while Lindsey played guitar like no one else could. When you heard them together, it was pure magic. But sadly, hardly anyone bought their album. The music industry can be cruel, and their dreams seem to be falling apart. Then something incredible happened in 1975. A band called Fleetwood Mac was looking for new members. They had heard Lindsey's guitar playing and wanted him to join. But here's the thing that changed everything. Lindsey said he would only join if Stevie could come too. He wasn't going to leave the love of his life behind. The band agreed, and just like that, two heartbroken musicians became P. Stevie responded with her own songs, including Dreams, which became the band's only #1 hit. While Lindsey's songs were full of anger, Stevie's were more thoughtful and sad. She sang about moving on and finding peace, but you could tell she was hurting just as much as he was. Making the Rumors album was emotionally exhausting for everyone involved. Lindsey has said that they had to channel all of their pain into the music, and while it made the album incredible, it was draining in every other way. They were basically therapy patients who had to perform their therapy sessions in front of thousands of people every night. Despite all the drama and heartbreak, something magical happened when Lindsey and Stevie performed together. Their voices blended perfectly, and their musical chemistry was undeniable. Other members of the band have said that watching them work together was like witnessing something supernatural. They challenged each other, pushed each other to be better, and created music that neither of them could have made alone. But this magic came with a price. As the years went on, the tension between them never really went away. They had very different approaches to making music. Lindsey was a perfectionist who wanted every detail to be exactly right. He would spend hours working on a single guitar part, trying to make it perfect. Stevie, on the other hand, was more free-spirited and emotional. She wanted the music to feel natural and flow from the heart. These different approaches led to many arguments in the studio. During the recording of their album, Tusk, in 1979, Lindsey wanted to experiment with new sounds and push the boundaries of what Fleetwood Mac could be. Stevie wanted to stick with the formula that had made them successful. Both approaches had merit, but they couldn't agree on which direction to take. The tension wasn't just about music. The final blow came in 2018, just as Fleetwood Mac was about to announce a new tour. Suddenly, the band announced that Lindsey would not be participating. He was essentially fired from the band he had helped make famous. While the band said it was a group decision, Lindsey believed that Stevie had given the other members an ultimatum. Either he goes or she does. And they chose to keep Stevie. Lindsey was devastated. In interviews, he said it felt like a professional betrayal. But more than that, It broke something inside him that he didn't think could ever be fully healed. After all those years of working together, fighting together, and creating beautiful music together, it seemed like their story was ending in the most painful way possible. But now, at 75, Lindsey Buckingham is telling his story with a different perspective. Time has a way of healing wounds and helping people see things more clearly. In recent interviews, he's been surprisingly generous when talking about Stevie and their complicated relationship. He acknowledged that what he and Stevie shared was unique and transformative. He said that they created something together that will likely outlive both of them. Even though their personal relationship was often painful, he recognizes that their musical partnership was something special that most people never experienced. Lindsey has admitted that they loved each other, but they never figured out how to handle that love alongside the pressures of fame and success. Being in the spotlight made everything harder. Every fight, every reconciliation, every moment of tension was scrutinized by fans and the media. They never got the privacy that most couples have to work through their problems. He also come to appreciate Stevie's unique contributions to Fleetwood Mac. He said that she brought something irreplaceable to the band, a mystique and magic that. Their complicated relationship also shows us that creativity and conflict often go hand in hand. The tension between them pushed both of them to write better songs, to dig deeper into their emotions, to express things they might never have explored otherwise. In a strange way, their inability to get along personally made them better artists. But their story is also a reminder that success and fame don't solve personal problems. Even when Fleetwood Mac was selling millions of albums and playing to sold-out stadiums around the world, Lindsey and Stevie were still struggling with the same issues that had always existed between them. Money and fame might make life easier in some ways, but they don't heal broken hearts or resolve fundamental personality differences. Today, Lindsey continues to perform and record as a solo artist. At 75, he's still creating music and sharing his gifts with the world. While he's made peace with much of his past, he's honest about the fact that some wounds may never fully heal. In one interview, he said it's bittersweet. He doesn't know if he and Stevie will ever work together again, but the music they made will always hold a piece of his heart. Stevie, now 76, has also continued her incredible career. She's still touring, still enchanting audiences with that magical voice that made her famous all those years ago. In her own interviews, she's acknowledged that her relationship with Lindsey was complicated but necessary. She said that no one else could have done what they did together, and despite all their problems, she recognizes the unique chemistry they shared. The legacy of Lindsey Buckingham and Stevie Nicks extends far beyond their personal drama. They've influenced countless musicians and songwriters who have studied their approach to blending personal experience with universal themes. Their willingness to be vulnerable in their muss. Their story reminds us that the most powerful art often comes from the most painful experiences. It shows us that love doesn't always have happy endings, but it can still create something meaningful and lasting. And it proves that even when relationships fall apart, the beauty that was created along the way can endure forever. At 75, Lindsey Buckingham has gained the wisdom that comes with age and experience. His recent openness about his relationship with Stevie Nicks shows a man who has learned to appreciate the complexity of human relationships. He understands now that life is rarely simple, that people can simultaneously be the source of our greatest joy and our deepest pain. His willingness to share his story so honestly is a gift to fans who have wondered for decades about what really happened between him and Stevie. By speaking openly about both the magic and the misery of their partnership, he's given us a deeper understanding of how great art is made and what it costs the people who create it. The story of Lindsey Buckingham and Stevie Nicks is ultimately a story about the human condition, about love and loss, creativity and conflict, dreams and disappointments. It's a reminder that behind every great song is a real person with real feelings, and that the music we love often comes from places of genuine emotion and experience. As we listen to their songs today, we can appreciate them on multiple levels, as beautiful pieces of music as snapshots of a particular time in history, and as honest expressions of what it means to be human. Whether they ever work together again or not, Lindsey Buckingham and Stevie Nicks have already given us something precious, a soundtrack to our own complicated lives and relationships. Their legacy is secure, written in the grooves of records that continue to spin in homes around the world, in the voices of fans who sing along,